And the first thing I want to talk about before anything else, because I want to talk about the motherless situation, because Taylor Lorenz did a video, and I think it would be not doing my due diligence if I did not take a look at that video and see what's going on, since I covered that earlier. But one of the things that I want to talk about right now is the quartering situation. Now, for those who are unaware of what's happened, damn near everyone at, like, who's anybody, has been weighing in on the quartering drama. And the quartering drama is, in short, every single one of his friends and colleagues and everybody who's been
President Trump's
a person with him. Okay, autoplay is stupid. Every time I try to click on something, autoplay wants me to watch it. But every single person who has been a person who is affiliated with him, friends with him, watched him, enjoyed him, all of them seem to be falling apart and over themselves in order to denounce him. Now, there's a couple of reasons for this. One, I think some people, finally are starting to realize that when it comes to Jeremy, he's not a content creator. He's something more of a parasite. So, you know how, I think of some of your favorite content creators. Let's say you've got somebody like, I don't know, we'll just say Game Apologist, right? And while Game Apologist does need video games to be made in order to talk about them, Sonic comics to be made in order to talk about them, he fucking creates things about them. Same with my friend Lane, same with most people who I work with. Anthony Grimalio, same thing. They may be commenting on other things, but they are at least creating something. That is not what Jeremy has done for years. Most of what he's done has been, well, we'll go ahead and call it bottom-of-the-barrel content. So I'm not saying that I haven't also done some of this content. It is my job. It is a thing that pays the bills. But it's not everything that I fucking do. So if we look at his main channel, he posts like 5 videos a day. And each of these videos is just him reading off the news, reading off something, and commenting on it for just enough time. Because you see, these are all like just over 10 minutes, so just enough time for him to get an ad read in, for him to get a mid-roll ad in. Mid-roll ads are now at 8 minutes. That's been a thing for a little bit. Just enough time for him to squeeze a little bit of revenue out of that. And as a result, he's been able to earn thousands of dollars per month, to the tune of, I think when I was watching June the King's video on it, it was to the tune of $26,000 to $40,000 a month. Like, it's a ridiculous amount. And then when you look at the other content he's making, aside from just the...
We all know that Karens can be a little bit unhinged.
We click on any of his stuff, and it's just, look, here I am. I'm going to talk about this news thing. I'm going to give basically the bottom-of-the-barrel analysis of it, because in 10 minutes, you're not going to be getting a lot of really, really powerful analysis out of it. And you know what? In the time that I've been doing this, in the time I refreshed the page, he's put out another video. He floods his channel with content in order to survive. Again, I don't think this is the worst strategy in the world, because, so bro's looking rough, them alcoholic eyes are starting to set permanently. So the swarming of content on the channel, it is a strategy that I've used, Tim Pool's used, Xander Hall's used, Vosh has used, he uses. A lot of people who do political commentary do have to do this because of a combination of things. One, it's a niche audience. Rage is a thing that if you are properly utilizing it, you can get a lot of views, like the quartering does, but if you're not properly utilizing it, I don't think I do, you don't get as many views. So you end up having to post more content to make up the financial deficit. But he does both. Over-posting content and constantly saying inflammatory shit. But the thing that's starting to cause a lot of the more conservative content creators to start to turn on him have been his shorts, among other things. His rabid alcoholism, his history of going on drunken rants, pissing in his basement, harassing women at Renaissance fairs, basically taking women who were in the Magic the Gathering community as cosplayers and harassing them to the point where they ended up like leaving the cosplay community entirely, and Wizards of the Coast ended up having to ban the dude because he was such a toxic cancer on everything. This is a guy who burns every bridge around him eventually. But like I said, the thing that conservative commentators are getting mad at are his shorts. Let's take a look at any short of his, anyone at all. So we have Jeremy right here giving a quick...
This waitress reveals the truth between black and white customers, and I gotta say, I'm not surprised. Check this out.
White people are when you make a mistake in a restaurant. Oh, no, baby, no problem. And they still tip like $10, $12.
Notice
black people,
something weird?
When you make a mistake,
Is there any commentary from Jeremy?
I need to see your manager.
Anything at all?
I need you to comp my entire meal, and I'm going to write a review to corporate and tell them how terrible.
Well, says I wish humans were more like dogs, and this clip is another reason why. Check this out.
Okay. Are you starting to see a pattern? Are you starting to see a pattern?
Body cams have absolutely destroyed their narrative from certain communities. Check this out.
I don't need to give it to you.
Step to the front of my car.
I could.
No, you will.
I could.
Go. To the front of my car.
Now you're making me uncomfortable.
That's fine. Go to the front of my car.
So, you'll notice a couple of things here. One, racism. Lots of racism. He peddles a lot of racism. Like, that's just kind of the basic... Oh, Jesus Christ. Somebody hit level 20 in Where Winds Meet, which is sponsoring the channel right now. Holy shit. Neat. But, that said, the racism is the first thing I noticed, but I've been watching Quartering for years. I've been looking at his content, critiquing his content for years. That's not the thing that surprises me. The thing that surprises me is that there's nothing fucking here. There's no actual content here. It is somebody else's content. It is just somebody else's content. So when you do a reaction, there's level 1 reaction. Level 1 reaction is you're watching content and you nod your head and you go, "Oh, chat! Oh, chat! Look at that chat! Chat! Look at that! Oh!" Like you don't add anything except maybe your energy. XQC. That's the fucking shit you do. So there's that, and then there's a layer above that where you get to like the Asmongold level of response, where you don't do any research on fucking anything. You just kind of wax lyrical about your opinion when you watch things without caring about what any of the background narrative for it or reasons are. But you at least provide something at all that explains your opinion, who you are, where you're coming from. Somebody can at least get some idea of who you are when they do that. Level 3 is where you are responding to something and critiquing it or debunking it, where you are actually doing research in order to respond to what you are doing. Look at the old atheist debunk videos, a lot of old rationality rules videos. These debunk style videos are reactions and responses like the previous 2 levels, but both of these require you to take a little more time in order to actually talk about the subject you're going on. And then you have what Jeremy's doing here, which is level 0. Level 0 reaction is the fucking stupid shit that has blown up on TikTok and everywhere else, where a creator just puts themselves under a video and just like points to it while the video plays, or they'll just like shake their head randomly when something that they disagree with is playing. But it's just watching somebody else's content and not adding anything to it at all. Not even the minorest amount of XQC level commentary. Like, the Hassan chair reaction is of better quality than this. And it's not that he's the only content creator that is doing it. A lot of content creators are doing it. Here's the problem. The Quartering is a 2 million subscriber channel. Also, Dorito just started. Neat. We have people starting on there, and that makes me money. I make like $2 when you do that. Thank you. The Quartering is a 2 million subscriber channel, and he's been in the YouTube game for well over a decade. This is a guy who, by now, to some degree, some level of some way, should be able to create something. He should be able to make something of any variety at all, but he's not. He's being a parasite. The only thing he can do is be a parasite. Now, if you want to go watch June the King's video on quartering, there's a lot of stuff that him and like the Kino Casino get into in regards to Jeremy's finances, where like me, I kind of panic a little bit when I have $2,000 on a credit card because like, yeah, that paid for my taxes this year, but that still hurt. I've still got to take a decently long time to pay that off. And I think most people who make like the average salary in America are like that. We see the fourth digit on any type of debt and go, well, fuck, that's going to take a bit. The quartering, on the other hand, makes $26,000 to $40,000 a fucking month and somehow finds himself $300,000 in credit card debt, or some debt. I don't know if it's credit card debt, but just how? I have to wonder how. And this is a person who has used a Nazi website in order to promote his material. The fucking Adolf Hitler book website he was using before. He's used his coffee brand coffee in order to try to promote his material. There's a whole back and forth on whether or not he even is a roaster or grinder on that, or just a drop shipper. That's not my lane. I don't give a shit about that particular lane. I give a shit that this is a person who is pumping out content, stealing other people's content, and when he makes his content, the only thing he does is be inflammatory, because he is, on his main content, level 2 reaction. He is Asmongold level reaction, because the quartering has one skill, and that's one skill alone, and that is making you angry. And he will admit to this himself. Again, watch June's video. It's really, really comprehensive. It turns out that history has shown that he thought he was good with computers and he thought he was good with people. Turns out that one of those skills he didn't actually have, as evidenced by him dropping out of college when he was trying to do computer stuff. And then we come to now, where it turns out those interpersonal skills aren't actually interpersonal skills. It's just knowing how to piss people off. All he knows how to do is use anger and capitalize off it, and then try to beg for sympathy. I, again, cannot fathom how a man who has a mortgage, has a house that is ostensibly paid off, is drowning in hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt, while spending all of their time on the internet making videos that do nothing but shit on other people for being black, for being trans, for being gay, for being anything that is mildly different, which is really weird considering that he's a member of the Magic the Gathering community, which is one of the most diverse gaming communities on the goddamn planet. We go into any trading card shop and you are going to see a non-zero amount of gays, queers, trans people, black people. You're going to see everything. And, you know, if you see a bunch of Asian people there, that really is going to depend on where you're living, more than likely. But the fact is, it's going to be a very, very diverse set of people. If I go to my shop right now, I can count at least, maybe not the shop that's right near me. The shop that's right near me is a little different for reasons I can't explain. But if I go to the shop that is closer to Atlanta, I can count 5 or 6 white people, maybe 8 or 9 black people, a handful of Mexican people, a handful of Asian people, probably like fucking 10 trans women. There is something very weird in regards to Magic the Gathering and trans women. I don't know how that one came to be, but there are a lot of them. And then a handful of cis women who usually are there because they are girlfriends of people who are already attending, but sometimes they're not. Don't go to card shops to try to get dates. Not a very good idea. Not the environment for it. So, yeah, but point is, you are going to go and see just such a giant diverse set of people. I can't understand how somebody like Jeremy, with his reputation, with what he does, with how he operates, could sit down in a card shop and not immediately get socially ostracized by everybody. Like, imagine being ostensibly a multimillionaire like he is, with a giant net worth, drowning in debt where nobody around you will connect with you at all because you can't stop being a hateful, spiteful bitch. And that's not me armchair psychologying him. If you watch Jun's video, you'll actually see he says as much himself. He says the same thing. He points out that even with his wife, he is unable to connect with people in real life. He connects better with strangers on the internet. Do you know what kind of person connects better only with strangers on the internet and doesn't actually have a group of people around them that are able to befriend them at all? Aside from just lonely people? Con artists. Con artists. There is a reason why we have an age-old adage that a prophet is never a prophet in their hometown. Because it turns out that the easiest way to con people is to have a group of anonymous people who do not know you and only can see you parasocially, who you have to rely on for your job. Now, technically, that is the position that every YouTuber is in. Kind of. Sort of. Let me explain. So if I go to Too Many Games right now, and I sit down with any content creator there, any one of them, not going to name names, it's not important. Any content creator I have sat down with can tell me that they've got at least 3 to 5 good friends back home. The only times that changes is if they've recently moved. People who are good with people tend to have people around them who like their company, who want to hang out with them. Like, when I stopped playing World of Warcraft on stream, initially, years ago, and started going to the card shop, I went from having no friends in my local area to having a group of 20 to 24 people that I go to Taco Mac with every Saturday, a group of 4 to 5 people that I go to Sushi Kingdom with on Fridays when I can help it, and then an ever-revolving group of people that come over to my house to play Smash Brothers on Fridays whenever I am up for cooking and hosting. And that's just finding random people playing fucking card games. It's not hard, but apparently it's hard for Jeremy, a multi-millionaire, who says he's good with people. It is hard for him to get anybody around him to actually want to be in his company. Oh, and speaking of the Magic the Gathering thing, I want to show you something. Here. So, I have an opinion on what the bottomest of bottom barrel content is in terms of Magic the Gathering content. And a lot of content creators I know will do a certain amount of this content, but they will never do exclusively this content. However, if I go to Unsleeved Media, which is Jeremy's Magic the Gathering page, bear in mind, this is a guy who's been banned for life for Magic the Gathering. He said he was unbanned. I don't really trust him. He said, but he's good with people. Yeah, he's good with people. What is his content? What does he do on here? Legendary pulls from the Lorwyn Eclipse box. Lorwyn Eclipse collector booster opening. Man shot over Pokemon cards. Well, that one's just a regular quartering video with a Magic the Gathering bit of flavor, but at least it's a little different. The failed MMO Ashes of Creation CEO spends millions on Magic cards. Okay, yep, that's just a basic-ass quartering video. What else do we have? Huge hits from Edge of Eternities. Living the Dream. Lorwyn Eclipse Booster Box. I Suffer Through MTG Spider-Man. Collector's Box Opening. It's all just opening boxes. Jeremy, I think I see how you went hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. I think I see. For those who don't play Magic the Gathering, for those who don't know Magic, a collector booster box for Magic the Gathering, on average, is $350. And up until 2 weeks ago, he was trying to post 1 to 3 videos a week on this channel. So imagine draining your wallet by $350 every week and a half, functionally. What do you think your financial situation would look like? Now, there is an argument that the amount of money that he's spending on Magic can be recouped at the end of the year because he can write it off on taxes. But writing things off on taxes does not automatically make them free. I wrote off all the Magic the Gathering cards I bought last year on taxes, and I still ended up having to pay out the ass. Because all it does is lower your tax burden. It does not negate your tax burden. You still end up having to pay a decent bit. So there is no point in time where you can buy enough Magic cards to write enough of them off that it will equalize later. That's not how taxes fucking work. So he's just hemorrhaging money to make, again, in my opinion, the bottom of the bottom barrel content. Why is it bottom of the bottom barrel? Very simple. It takes nothing. There is no skill required at all, in any way, shape, and form, in opening up a booster box. None. You are literally just putting a camera over your thing and cracking a pack, and then cracking another pack, and then cracking another pack. It is skill-less content. I gave levels for content that is React content. When it comes to Magic the Gathering content, this is the level 1 of Magic the Gathering content. This is what it is. And again, it's not like there aren't other content creators who do this. Tolarian Community College does this. But he at least has other fucking content on his channel as a majority of his channel. Check this out. If I go to the professor's page, if I check out his content, what am I going to find over here? Commentary on Universes Beyond being a problem in the Pauper format. Well, that demonstrates he knows something about Pauper. Level 4 Commander with a bunch of other content creators. Well, that demonstrates that he's willing to play Bracket 4 Commander. All right, well, that's 2 different forms of Magic the Gathering. Are theme decks worth it? Well, theme decks are for the standard format, so for you to have a commentary on that, you need to have a knowledge of the standard environment for Magic the Gathering. You won't be able to buy a Codex bundle. Well, that's just collector stuff. Fair enough. Top 5 cards from Secrets of Strixhaven for Magic the Gathering. For any version of that content, you're going to need to know the formats that you are talking about there. Oh, and finally, I found Booster Box game. Let's buy a collector booster box and open it. I had to go 5 videos down. Whereas for Jeremy's content, it's the inverse. I have to go through 5 videos of bottom of the barrel content in order to hit anything that is even mildly fucking different. Now, if you watch June's video, again, I'm using a lot of information from it, so bear with me. And I'll give a link to it real quick for anybody who's in chat right now. But if you watch June's video on the quartering, the reason that this is happening, the reason that he does this is twofold. One, he's skillless. He just does not have any skill whatsoever when it comes to content creation other than making people angry. He has not spent any time to develop what he's doing. He has not spent any time to change his craft, to learn anything new. He's been doing the same thing over and over again for years with little to no variation. It is either the quartering, opening up boxes of expensive things, or a podcast where they shit on the libs. That's it. That's the quartering content. Completely and totally, in a nutshell. That's all it is. And that's probably all it's ever going to be. Sorry, the video just played recently, so we're just going to go ahead and do. Again, autoplay, cancer. So, my beefs with quartering for years have been that he is a commentator who focuses only on rage. And when you focus only on rage, you could say, oh, well, yeah, get your bag. Go ahead, do your thing. And I understand that mentality. I'm going to offer pushback on that mentality, though. Because when you are selling outrage, you are not selling outrage in a vacuum. You are, in fact, spilling that outrage onto other people. A lot of other people. And then they either start copying what you're doing, parroting what you're doing. You are functionally taking the net amount of good and bad in the world and only contributing to the bad. Sucker says, I mean, he could do a video of himself opening expensive stuff while pooping on the libs. Never mind that he's the guy that peed in his own basement. He peed in his own basement. He shat in a Walmart. And this is a guy who has a non-zero amount of very strange stories when it comes to that. It has been very, very cathartic to watch Stuttering Craig and others actually dump on the quartering. Now, for those who don't know who Stuttering Craig is, he is the guy who founded Screw Attack, co-founded Screw Attack, and then sold his part of Screw Attack, and then proceeded to do a bunch of other ventures that did not pan out, and now he's trying to buy back Screw Attack, but the one thing that he does have that has actually panned out to any degree has been the podcast Side Scrollers. Now, I'm going to go ahead and make the joke that everybody's probably already thinking when it comes to side-scrollers. The only reason that it's called side-scrollers is because everybody here seems to only have one ability, and that is to walk further and further to the right. But where is the video he did on the quartering here? I know it's in here somewhere. Commentary on Asmongold. Talking with Tectone. Weird to talk with Rapetone. The quartering situation got worse. The quartering is a fraud. The quartering situation just got worse. My God. Okay, can I go ahead and say as well that drama content is also bottom of the barrel content? It's I am glad that it exists when there are bad people to shit on, but we had an opinion on tabloids for years that they were bottom of the barrel shit for magazines, and yet when we do it on YouTube, it's great. And there's only a few drama tubers that I think actually do well in the space. And most of the time, they're people who are covering the downfall of prolific content creators from a historical angle. Like, The Right Opinion's a good example of somebody who does that. Let me see if I can actually find the video that Craig did specifically, because he did a video talking about the quartering, pointing out all of the shit he was doing that he was upset with. But I guess we're just going to have to do this one and see if this is it.
In Keno Casino situation, and we posted a video over on YouTube for of that clip for people because people were interested. It is confirmed.
I was on side scrollers 2 days a week, Tuesday night and main event too. Jesus, why is she on side scrollers? Done. The offer's out. How much should I offer her? She was on lolcow too. Yeah, but I think she just does, her own.
Here's the thing about Jeremy and the quartering as a whole, because a lot of people have talked about, we see. I posted about this over on X. I said you can say a lot of things about about the quartering, but the one thing you can't say is that he has an ounce of class, right? Which he is who he is. He has shown who he is through all this right here. And this
now. The interesting thing to me here is that Stuttering Craig is making this analysis while also being a person who wanted to have Jeremy, or wanted to be on Jeremy's show and vice versa. He is somebody who used to be a fan of the quartering. Now, I'm always going to be an advocate for people to, grow and become better as a person, but that's not what's going on. The internet's dogpiling on quartering, and he is part of the dogpiling, which is, again, let them fight. That's A-okay with me. Aaron says, I wonder if The Right Opinion would cover Psych to Go at some point. You'd have to have a downfall thing there, and I'm not 100% certain about what downfall Psych to Go has had. But their stuff pops in my feed only very rarely. So, I'm not certain. But, watching people on the right, people on the left, basically turn on Jeremy has been interesting. Now, unlike when this happens with people like, say, Trump, I think this is going to be a more permanent thing. But here's the other side of that. As far as I'm concerned. It's not going to do much. Because the only way that everybody turning on Jeremy does anything is if he's no longer giving his caustic content to the world. Because there's always going to be people who are going to watch his shit and are going to sit and listen to his opinion more than anybody else's until the end of time. That's just how these parasocial spaces work. There are going to be ride or dies, and then every person who's a hate watcher is also gonna end up contributing to the amount of views that he's getting. Every single bit of it. Hell, there is an argument that me talking about it is contributing to the amount of views that he's getting. And that is not technically untrue. I see in the YouTube chat we have Black Hole Soul. Avatar matches the voice very well. Yeah, and you also seem to have a personality matching of your entire name there, my guy. It is a black hole, after all. Jessa says, fuck, I can't believe cringy 19-year-old me thought Jeremy was good content. So, years ago, I had a friend, and I still had this friend. He comes into my stream every now and again, watching my stuff, and we talk every now and again on Facebook still. But this is a friend who, when I said, I think quartering is a Nazi, he said, I don't think he is. I watch his content, I don't think he is. But I got a question. If somebody is constantly pushing Nazi propaganda, or at the very least, pushing a service that is known for pushing that, what word do we use to describe that person? There's only so many degrees of separation from the person who thinks eugenics is good and phrenology is great, actually, before I just don't care. And if you're only 1 or 2 degrees of separation away, and the degrees of separation they are your sponsor, I'm sorry. I'm willing to use that word specifically. I don't remember which video it was that I did on him about his book deal, where he was being sponsored by the Nazi book site. Lenari says, the recent quartering drama is people calling him a cuck, right? No. Yes and no. So, Lenari, it's everything. It's people going over his financial situation. It's people going over how he's e-bagged, despite the fact that he makes, again, tens of thousands of dollars per fucking month. It's people going over the fact that he has stolen a shit ton of content. It's people going over the fact that he makes fun of people who are cuckolds and cuckolded and does content on them while also fucking being one. That's another thing that we've got. Kino Casino did a bunch of shit on that. Ethan Klein did some shit on that too. It's insane to me. It's insane. And I would love nothing more than to not be talking about any of this. But the thing is, this is a guy that I've been covering for half a decade now. It is incredibly cathartic watching all of these walls collapse on him. Now, the ideal situation, personally, would be for all of these walls collapsing on Jeremy to be the signal that he should change. That he needs to become a different and better person. But he's not going to, because he's had every opportunity for years, and he won't. Feltering Kino Casino Clipverse, they've got a bit here that's titled The Quartering Copes and Seas After the June the King documentary. So let's go and see what's going on there.
Apologize. Well, here's the thing. As somebody who is, dealing with online psychos right now, unfortunately, apologizing actually won't make them stop. They don't want an apology. They want control over your life.
So you're not entirely wrong there. There is a non-zero amount of people who are going to be like that. But the problem is, when you are talking about a group of people that is hundreds of thousands strong, you will be able to find people who will accept an apology, you'll be able to find people who won't accept an apology, and you'll be able to find people who are every other shade in between wanting you to grow as a better person and wanting you to die. And you could use any one of those people as your monolithic reason why you are not going to change. Any of them could be utilized. It's just a scapegoat.
They want to feel like, the fact of the matter is they have no real power in their own lives. And so they want to feel like they can control something, control someone else. There is like the truth of it is she never should have apologized because she meant what she said anyway. Right? Terminally online weirdos will not leave you alone if you apologize. They'll say, oh, just apologize. All I want is an apology. They won't leave you alone.
Right. So here's the thing. The people who are operating in good faith will generally accept the apology if they see character change afterwards. The people who are not operating in good faith are going to operate the same way no matter if you give the apology or not. The difference is, if you don't give an apology, then the people who are operating in good faith will continue to shit on you, and rightfully so. This is the problem with using any person at all as the example of a monolithic viewpoint when a bunch of people are against you. It's pointless. It is a tactic that people use so that they can stay rigid, non-flexible, and not change. And Jeremy will use that excuse for as long as he possibly can.
How long have these psychopaths been like ruining a guy's life like Darkside Phil? Some poor guy who streams to like a couple hundred people and like they have ruined his life. How many times do you think they told him, oh, you should just apologize? Like, this woman should not have apologized. She should.
So here's the thing with DSP. From what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I may be a little fuzzy on my history when it comes to DSP, but there is never a point where DSP stopped doing the thing where he just randomly shouts racial slurs. Like that person didn't fundamentally change. So even if they gave any amount of apologies, it doesn't mean anything if they aren't, becoming a better person. It's like when PewDiePie apologized for using the N-word on stream and they just kept on fucking doing it. Like, I'm sorry, but there's... An apology means nothing if there's not action behind it. I can accept no apology and action. I can accept apology and action. I can't accept no apology and then inaction, which is how Jeremy's going to operate.
Should have just went online and doubled down because that's what she did anyway. Yes, the goalposts keep moving. That's exactly right. Oh, you apologize? Well, but you didn't apologize how I liked it. You didn't apologize for this thing.
Well, you apologize, but I don't think you meant it. You don't give these losers any control over your life. They think that they have control, right? They think that you're mad. They think, ooh, I got a couple dislikes on the video. That's going to epically destroy him. Doesn't matter. Dislikes on a Rumble video don't matter. It's not making it rank any less. It's pointless. So you just laugh at these retards. That's how you deal with them.
So I don't disagree with the words there. I don't. At the same time, just listening to them come out of the mouth, we're running a 50-50 gambit over this being huffing copium, or if this is him actually pointing out like his brain is a mental bulwark. However, we know that his brain is not a mental bulwark because Jeremy has pointed out that despite the fact that he bullies a bunch of people online for his career, he suffers from severe anxiety. He has a bottle of Xanax in his pocket at all times, and if he doesn't have the bottle of Xanax in his pocket, he will freak the hell out and start to have a mental breakdown. We know that he suffers from rabid alcoholism and depression. We know that he's got so many negative aspects that are actively having control over him in his life that this reads as cope. And I would like him to recover from being an alcoholic. I would like him to get better with his anxiety. I would like him to recover from depression. I would like him to do all those things. But I would like him to do all those things whilst also becoming a better person. And somehow I feel like forward momentum will not be made on any one of those.
They really, really, really want to think they matter, but they don't. Oh, look at it. He addressed us. Oh, just a crumb of attention. That's all I wanted. I waited 2 hours for a crumb of attention. I mean, dude, how pathetic are you? 2 hours you wait. 2 hours you wait for a crumb of attention. Like, what are you doing in your life? Go on. Like, go do something. Like, fucking go do something with your life.
You know what's interesting to me, though? For somebody who suffers from as many issues as he does and bullies as many people as he does, this advice here in a vacuum isn't bad advice. In a vacuum, with no context for who Jeremy is, what he does, what his history is, and how he operates, that person is giving what sounds like sound advice. But it's not happening in a vacuum. It's happening in the world where he is actively destroying his own life. I want to look at the comment section here. He sounds exactly like DSP. He'll do anything to not apologize. This doesn't even deserve a captain's log introduction because this is dead serious. Bro, did this guy really just imply DSP as a victim? The guy's lack of self-awareness is staggering. Holy shit. Darkside Jeremy. This is all DSP talking points. LMAO, he just said his hat gives him shadows under the eyes. Jeremy, no, it's not the hat. I promise you. He's acknowledging he's affected. He's wearing makeup. I'm not crying, you're crying. I'm totally not coping. The quarter pounder abridged. I would not be taking such joy in this if it weren't for the fact that Jeremy was emblematic of the exact kind of person that does nothing but spread suffering around in the world for money. Because that's what it is at the end of the day. It's for money. In Jun's video, he goes over the history of every financial scheme Jeremy has attempted. And some of them have been legitimate. Some of them weren't him trying to just launder Magic the Gathering packs. Some of them actively make perfect sense. Like his IT help one that he was doing, or the RC car one that he was doing, because that's a thing he was enthusiastic about for a while. However, we are now looking at a version of Jeremy who, after all of those endeavors, is still profiting off of outrage. It's the one skill he has. And I feel like the kind of person who only profits off of outrage for their entire life, I feel like that person only has one trajectory. And I hate to say it. It's to die alone. Hey, you made it to the end. I want to give an extra thanks to the patrons who allow me to do this full time. I want to thank Aaron Rail, Astral, Britzkrieg, Jemshin, Poundini, Red Joker, Victoria, Jonas, Craig, Tarika, Fireshard, Smiling GM, John, Dren Hadamada, Creeper, Sagitt, you know I'm not saying that last part, Sylvie Snow, Valis of Seraph, Ottoman Angel, Rooster Rachel, and Fire Panda, who are all my $20 and up patrons.